There's a rainbow in Toronto where the Maritimers are bold. They always get a pot full, but they never get a pot of gold. But they're to it and at it and to it. You gotta tune your attitude in. If you don't get at it, when you get to it, you won't get to it to get at it again. You won't get to it to get at it again. A guy from old New Brunswick, he couldn't even pay his rent. We don't know how he traveled, but we all know where he went. He was to it and at it and to it. You gotta tune your attitude in. If you don't get at it, when you get to it, you won't get to it to get at it again. You won't get to it to get at it again. A girl from old Spud Island, old potato lips. She married a Newfoundlander, and they lived on fish and chips. But they were to it and at it and to it. You gotta tune your attitude in. If you don't get at it, when you get to it, you won't get to it to get at it again. You won't get to it to get at it again. A guy from Nova Scotia, he can't afford the train. He's sitting on a streetcar, but he's eastbound just the same. He's to it and at it and to it. You gotta tune your attitude in. If you don't get at it, when you get to it, you won't get to it to get at it again. You won't get to it to get at it again. A Frenchman from the Gaspé said frogs don't like smog, so he hopped in a swamp of lilies where he lives in a hollow log. But he's to it and at it and to it. You gotta tune your attitude in. If you don't get at it, when you get to it, you won't get to it to get at it again. You won't get to it to get at it again. A guy from old Cape Breton, so lonesome he got stoned. He crawled into his suitcase and somebody mailed him home. But he's to it and at it and to it. You gotta tune your attitude in. If you don't get at it, when you get to it, you won't get to it to get at it again. He was to it and at it and to it. You gotta tune your attitude in. If you don't get at it, when you get to it. Well, here I am, down on Christmas, after being up all year. Broke my hip, cocked the grip, and my good wife disappeared. I hit the floor like an apple core when Doc took me off of the beer. It's hard to be down on Christmas after being up all year. After being up all year, I can't find any cheer. It's hard to be down on Christmas after being up all year. Yeah, here I am, down on Christmas, and I can't eat nothing fried. Had a slice of meat that was cut so thin, it only had one side. I feel a lot like a dirty sock that Santa Claus won't come near. It's hard to be down on Christmas after being up all year. After being up all year, I can't find any cheer. It's hard to be down on Christmas after being up all year. Here I am, down on Christmas, and to add to my concern, I got some coal in the kitchen stove, guaranteed not to burn. And I'd like to tell that guy with the bell he can go shove it into his ear. It's hard to be down on Christmas after being up all year. After being up all year, I can't find any cheer. It's hard to be down on Christmas after being up all year. Here I am, down on Christmas, and my credit's off at the store. A religious group sent a box of soup, but it came to the guy next door. I thumped the wall, but he never called, and I'd like to say right here, it's hard to be down on Christmas after being up all year. After being up all year, I can't find any cheer. It's hard to be down on Christmas after being up all year. It's hard to be down on Christmas after being up all year. This here next song is a story about the fellow that was hitchhiking away down in southern Nevada. Along come this big long truck loaded down with potatoes, and the trucker put on the air brakes and pulled over to the side and said, "Jump in, son, throw in your bag and the one you're carrying." And he said, "Where all you been, son?" Well, he said, "I've been everywhere, man, and that's the name of this one." I was hitchhiking down along the dusty Winnemucca Road. Along came a transport truck with a high canvas covered load. If you're going to Winnemucca, Mac, with me you can ride. I climbed into the cab, I settled down inside. He asked me if I'd seen a road with so much dust and sand. I said, listen, bud, I've traveled every road in this here land. I've been everywhere, man, I've been everywhere, man. Across the deserts bare, man, I breathe the mountains there, man. I've traveled, I've done my share, man. I've been everywhere. Where you been, he says. Oh, let me see now, a couple of places. I've been to Reno, Chicago, Fargo, Minnesota, Buffalo, Toronto, Winslow, South Dakota, Wichita, Tulsa, Ottawa, Oklahoma, Tampa, Panama, Matamala, Oklahoma, Durango, Baltimore, Salvador, Amarillo, Manitoba, Warren, Kalama, Delaware, and Colorado. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. Across the deserts bare, man. I breathe the mountains there, man. I travel, I've done my share, man. I've been everywhere. Is that right, he says, after a long pause. And I says, Boston, Charleston, Dayton, Louisiana, Washington, Houston, Kingston, Texarkana, Monterey, Faraday, Santa Fe, Califas, Glen Rock, Halifax, Little Rock, Argus, Tennessee, Hennessy, Chippewa, Spirit Lake, Grand Lake, Other Lake, Larder Lake, for Pete's sake. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. Across the deserts bare, man. I breathe the mountains there, man. I've traveled, I've done my share, man. I've been everywhere. This truck driver turned around again to me and said, look, buddy, if you ain't Hank Snow, don't you ever shut up? And I says, Louisville, Nashville, Knoxville, Omaha, New York, Newark, Costa Rica, Utah, Montreal, Springfield, Bakersfield, Shreveport, Hackensack, Cadillac, Fond du Lac, Devonport, Idaho, Mexico, Argentina, Diamantina, Pasadena, Catalina. See what I mean, Jack? I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. Across the deserts bare, man. I breathe the mountains there, man. I've traveled, I've done my share, man. I've been everywhere. And this truck driver turned around again to me and said, look at here, buddy. I'm kind of getting sick and tired of you talking about all these United States cities and towns. I'm a Canadian truck driver, and I want to hear a little bit of the North Country for a change. Well, I said there's always North Bay, and heading up into northern Ontario to places like Temagami, New Liskeard, Haileybury, Cobalt, Timmins, Ansonville, Kirkland Lake, Cochrane, Capas, Casing, Hearst, Geraldton, Beardsmore, and the Lakehead. And heading from Nipigon down 17 into Scriber, Marathon, White River, Wawa, and Sault Ste. Marie. Heading eastward from the Sioux on 17 to Thessalon, Blind River, Elliott Lake, Manitoulin Island, Espanola, Sudbury, Cache Bay, Sturgeon Falls, and back to North Bay. Heading down south now, number 11 to Huntsville, Bracebridge, Gravenhurst, Aurelia, Barrie, Aurora, Newmarket, and even Stouffville, and another town we all know well called Toronto, Plattsburgh, Havelberg, Colorado, Winnipeg, Rexburg, Vicksburg, Colorado, Laramie, the Alamo, Chattanooga, Vancouver, Jasper, Nebraska, Alaska, Palaga, Caribou, Waterloo, Kalamazoo, Kansas City, Sioux City, Dodge City. What a pity, I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. Across the deserts bare, man. I breathe the mountains there, man. I travel, I've done my share, man. I've been everywhere. Well, this truck driver looked at me again and he said, don't you know nothing about the Maritimes at all, boy? Yeah. He had the audacity to ask me, of course, you Newfoundlanders wouldn't understand that word. That's a big word I learned in Skinner's Pond School, Prince Edward Island. Didn't really mean that, you know, but I had to say it anyhow. Yeah, he says, don't you know nothing about the Maritimes? I said, look, mate, I can tell by the big spuds in the back of your rig you must be a spud picker from Prince Edward Island. I can tell you that much about the Maritimes. You must be friends with them there blue nosers from Nova Scotia and the New Brunswick herring soakers. Not to mention anything, of course, about them squid jigging lads from over Newfoundland. Now, the run of the towns in the Maritimes goes like this, mate. There's Moncton, Chatham, St. John, Campbellton, Grand Falls, Sackville, Newcastle, Fredericton, Charlottetown, Summerside, Glace Bay, Annapolis, Spring Hill, Sydney, Manchester, Glasgow, Antigonish, Windsor, Truro, Gander, Buena Vista, St. John's, Swinnerba, Quarterbass, and Mr. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. Across the desert, spear, man. I breathe the mountains there, man. But there's just one place I haven't been. Tramp on the gas and roller, man. Soon we're gonna be there, man. Soon we're gonna be there.